All right, peace. Let's talk some boxing today, man. Let's talk some boxing. We finna talk about some controversy, right? One time, I was on Bushido's channel, Bushido Boxing, and I made a statement, right, about how Floyd kind of messed the game up in the sense of competition. So when I said that, a lot of people, a lot of his guests had an issue with that. Well, it was really one person. And we had a nasty back and forth, you know what I'm saying? Because dude talking to me like I'm a clown or something, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't know what I'm talking about. So what we finna do, right? We finna run through his whole career. And look, when I do this ain't a knock towards Floyd. I think Floyd is a phenomenal fighter. A phenomenal fighter. But I just get tired of people, and I get tired of him too. And the reason why I'm doing this is because he has said things about other great fighters because he retired undefeated 50-0. First of all, Rocky Marciano in his time, he retired 49. I think, he was like 49-0 with like 40 knockouts. So does that mean that Rocky Marciano is the greatest ever? Who else? I think Ricardo Lopez. I think he was like strawweight or something like that. He retired undefeated. Floyd Mayweather is not the only one to retire undefeated, right? So one time he said that he's better than Muhammad Ali, Sugar Ray Leonard, Tommy Hearns, all the great fight. He better than all them. Well, let's look at something, right? Now, let's look when he won the title. He was a lightweight, right? Matter of fact, yeah, super featherweight. I think that's lightweight. He fought against Gennaro Hernandez. Now, Gennaro Hernandez, in his time, he was a pretty good, decent fighter. You know what I'm saying? He was a pretty good, decent fighter. But let's look at something. When he fought Gennaro Hernandez, was Gennaro Hernandez an A-plus fighter? No, he wasn't. He was a B-plus fighter at best. Because prior to that, he had got beat pretty bad by Oscar De La Hoya, I believe. Let's look at something. Let's look at Gennaro Hernandez's record, right? Right. See, he had lost to Oscar De La Hoya. Cause I remember that fight. Oscar De La Hoya had bloodied his face real bad. Oscar De La Hoya was like winning the fight. So they just like, I think he won by technical knockout or something like that. He had blooded his nose real bad, right? But was Gennaro Hernandez an A-level fighter? No, he wasn't. He was not an A-level fighter. Okay, he fights against Angel Manfredi. Now, Angel Manfredi out here in Indiana, well, I'm from Chicago, but he's out there in Indiana. Was Angel Manfredi a A-level fighter when Floyd Mayweather fought against him? No, he wasn't. And Angel Manfredi was a good, decent fighter. You know what I'm saying? He had beat some pretty nice guys, and he was a pretty good boxer and stuff like that. But he was not an A-level fighter, y'all. He was not an A-level fighter. But what would you rank Angel Manfredi during that time? I would rank him probably about like, I would give him like a B minus. He was like a B minus fighter. You know what I'm saying? Okay, Carlos Rios. Now, I don't know too much about Carlos Rios, right? I don't know a whole lot about Carlos Rios, but Floyd Mayweather, he defended the title against Angel Manfredi. He beat Carlos Rios. But we have to look at this, right? Is Carlos Rios, in your opinion, even though he's 44-2, is he an A-level fighter? This is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for, on his record, since he's the best to ever do it, has he ever fought against an A-level competition? Right? So he beats Carlos Rios. He fought against Justin Junker or Junko or whatever his name is. He beats him. Carlos Jarena. He beats him. But the question is this: at lightweight, are these A-level fighters though? Is anybody in the lightweight division, when he's at the lightweight division, is anybody at the lightweight division, are they A-level competition? Right? No, they not. Gregorio Vargas. He beats him. Emmanuel Augustus. He beats him. Now, the Diego Corrales fight, that was a very anticipated fight, right? But let me see something real. See, I can't see it. But that was a very anticipated fight. Him fighting against Diego Corrales, right? But we got to ask ourselves, is Diego Corrales an A-level fighter when they fought against each other? No, he wasn't. He was not an A-level fighter. When they fought against each other, Diego Corrales was not an A-level fighter. Because it was a couple of fights that he struggled with. Because Diego Corrales was a very good pressure fighter. Or, a pressure fighter. He can box a little bit. And he can, he was good with counter punching and stuff like that. Diego Corrales was a very good fighter. But what do you rank Diego Corrales? I will put Diego Corrales at that time at maybe a B+. So all of these people, Carlos Hernandez. See, they won't let me look at they joints. Carlos Hernandez, right? He defends the title against Carlos Hernandez. Do the boxing world know who Carlos Hernandez is? I mean, do the world know who Carlos... But see, this is at lightweight, though. See, this is at lightweight. I'm not really... You got to critique his whole career. Jesus Chavez, right? He beats him. Right? He beats Jesus Chavez. Jose Castilla. He fought Jose Castilla twice, and each time he fought him, the first fight it was controversial. You know what I'm saying? It was controversial. It was okay, and Floyd, he went back. You know what I'm saying? He had to get that fat one again, so he beat him. He beat him in a unanimous decision, right? But was Diego Corrales an A+ fighter or an A- fighter? No, he wasn't. So now, Philip Nandu, was he an A-level fighter? No. DeMarcus Corley, Chop Corley, was Chop Corley, was he an A-level fighter? No, he wasn't. All of these guys that he's fighting, they're not A-level competition. So at lightweight, right, he had never fought nobody that was on his level that'd give him competition. Okay, he moves up to welterweight, right? Is this welterweight? Yeah, I think this welterweight. He fights against Arturo Gatti. They fight at welterweight. Arturo Gatti was not the same fighter that he was 5 or 6 years ago or something like that. And Arturo Gatti, even though we love Arturo Gatti because he was a warrior, you know what I'm saying? But Arturo Gatti, his biggest problem was weight. Like, a lot of times, see, when he was at, like, I believe lightweight or something like that, he struggled a lot to make weight, right? So he ended up moving up to, like, welterweight and stuff like that because he couldn't really make the weight at the lower weights. And see, a lot of times that be because of what? Discipline, you know. He beat Shamba Mitchell. And I used to love to watch Shamba Mitchell fight. You know, he had nice hand speed. You know, he can knock you out. You know what I'm saying? But Arturo Gatti and Shamba Mitchell, they not A-level fighters. He fought against Zab Judah. Was Zab Judah an A-level fighter when they fought? No, he wasn't. See, he was not an A-level fighter. So my question is, when is he fighting against an A-level fighter? That's my whole argument. When is he fighting against somebody that, you know, that can really question his ability, or to question him as a fighter? See, because Zab Judah, even though Zab Judah was doing pretty good against Floyd, but Zab Judah was not an A-level fighter. So, you know, Floyd ended up beating him unanimous decision, even though it almost got ugly because Judah and his Floyd uncle got into it. Carlos Manuel Baltimore, he fights him, right? Was he an A-level fighter? No, he wasn't. He was not an A-level fighter, y'all. He was not an A-level fighter. He fight Oscar De La Hoya. World WBC super welterweight title, right? They fight, I think that was like a catch weight or something. He beat Oscar De La Hoya at split decision. But Oscar De La Hoya, even though Oscar did pretty good, but Oscar was a shell of himself. He wasn't an A-level fighter when they fought. So where's the people at? Because me and this dude got into a heated debate over this. The man has never fought nobody on his level. Ricky Hatton, 43-0. Was Ricky Hatton an A-level fighter? No, he wasn't. Ricky Hatton was just one-dimensional. He was a come-forward fighter. We're going to try to wear you down with that, making all that noise. And look, we like Ricky Hatton. Ricky Hatton was a good fighter, you know what I'm saying? But he was at, I believe, 140 pounds at first. 7 pounds ain't gonna really kill you if you really in shape. But was Ricky Hatton an A-level fighter? No, he wasn't. And to Pacquiao's credit, Floyd Mayweather, he said some things about Pacquiao in the media to try to make people believe that this man, and he probably was on some type of performance-enhancing drugs. Who wasn't taking that stuff back then? Because let me tell you something, bro, people that's listening. If you're taking vitamins or something from the GNC, 9 times out of 10, it's performance enhancing drugs. It's because you don't even know what's in that stuff in the GNC. So he was running around here when he had the opportunity to face Pacquiao. He was running around discrediting this man when Pacquiao was at his best. He never fought him, see? And to me, that was the only A-level fighter that was out there. Why they couldn't make this fight? At first it was over money. And then he tried to control the blood testing. You got to take the Olympic-style drug testing, right? So Pacquiao didn't want to do it because he was saying that he would have to continue to take these blood tests, right? And I can understand that, because why would you do that against Pacquiao, but you didn't do that against Shane Mosley? Shane Mosley was caught cheating. See, he got caught dirty, but he still fought against Shane Mosley. If he was so concerned about getting his head knocked in or being hurt with somebody using steroids, why did he do that with Shane Mosley? Shane Mosley, before they fought, Shane Mosley was caught using, this is during the time when a lot of these athletes, baseball players, basketball players, or whatever, they was using steroids. They was using some type of performance-enhancing drugs, and Shane Mosley was one of them. But they still fought each other, though. So I question a lot of that stuff. But it's funny. 6 years later, you know, he beat Pacquiao, right? 6 years later, he beat Pacquiao. But it's interesting on how when Pacquiao had to take the Olympic-style drug testing, there was no traces of drugs in his system. And see, I remember when, what's his name? David Ortiz, the heavyweight from Cuba. He took a drug test and he tried to mask it with some type of, he took a drug test, he tried to mask it with something else, with some high blood pressure pills, and they were still able to find a lot of that stuff in his system. And I'm trying to figure out if Pacquiao was using performance enhancing drugs, if they gonna make the argument and say that's why he was skipping and going all these weight classes and stuff like that, and he's never tiring, then why wasn't they able to find that stuff in his system? Because when you stop using drugs like that, I don't care if you stop using it, it still will be in your system. So that's something to look at. But let's go back to these people. So he fight Ricky Hatton, he fight Juan Manuel Marquez, he fight Shane Mosley. These three fighters were not A-level competition. Somebody that can give him a go for his money. Okay, he fight Victor Ortiz, he fight Miguel Cotto, Roberto Guerrero, Saul Alvarez. Now, a lot of people would say that Canelo Alvarez was an A-plus fighter, but really, during that time, he wasn't, because he was young, and he wasn't the Canelo that we see today. So, when we look at these Victor Ortiz, Cotto, Guerrero, and Canelo Alvarez, they were not A-level fighters, y'all. He has never been in the ring with someone that can challenge him as a fighter. Marcos Maidana, twice. Manny Pacquiao, he fought him like 7 years, 6 years later. Andrew Berto, Conor McGregor. So, I'm trying to figure out. Now, he done fought all the guys, he done fought the guys. But it was guys out there that he could have fought, and we would have liked to see how he would have matched up against them. And one of the people was Vernon Forrest. Another person was Paul Williams. And then you had the Cuban guy, Edison Landy Lara, and you had Sergio Martinez. He never fought those guys before. And am I saying that those people are A-level competition? No, I'm not. And the reason why I'm saying this is because, see, we're gonna do another sit down on some of the greats when they fought. See, we're gonna do, because we have to look at this. This man has never fought nobody on his level. He has never fought nobody on his level, y'all. I would have loved to see Floyd Mayweather fight against Edison Landy Lara when Edison Larry Lara was a youngster, Paul Williams, Sergio Martinez, and I would even throw Vernon Forrest in there if he was still living. You know what I'm saying? But like I say, he fought some nice quality opponents, but Floyd Mayweather has never in his career fought against an A-level competition person, and that's facts. Peace.